Hello and happy Thursday to you. Welcome to Better News Daily once again. Today I want to start with a confession for you. I am a very impatient person. Like extremely impatient. I don't like people who drive under the speed limit, or people who tell stories that go on for too long, or slow walkers, or slow eaters. I don't like food that takes too long to cook, or YouTube ads that don't skip after 5 seconds, or when you're in a self-checkout line and someone tries to buy literally the entire grocery store and all I have is a tube of toothpaste, but I have to wait for them to move. And oh look, now they're paying in cash and I have to wait for them to insert every dollar bill one by one. I think I might have a problem. Today I want to talk with you about waiting. What I'm going to share is something that I shared for Better News a few months back, so this might sound familiar to some of you, but I think that this is worth hearing twice. We're in the book of 2 Peter today, and in chapter 3, Peter addresses a frustration that maybe you've heard from other people, or maybe you yourself have felt before. Above all, you must understand that in these last days, scoffers will come, scoffing and following their own evil desires. They will say, "Where is this coming he promised?" Ever since our ancestors died, everything goes on as it has since the beginning of creation. Jesus hasn't come back for close to 2,000 years at this point, and that's a long time to wait. Peter says that there are going to be people who will cast doubt on Jesus' return, saying, "This world is a place of order and predictability. Whenever something seems like the end of the world, things just keep right on moving." And the more that life throws at us, the easier it can be to get a little frustrated with God. What's taking so long? What's the holdup? Why haven't you come back? You've waited long enough. Well, if you've ever felt this way, there's one verse that has been particularly helpful for me. This is just a little bit later in this same chapter. Peter gives some hope to the believers. But do not forget this one thing, dear friends. With the Lord, a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are like a day. The Lord is not slow in keeping his promise, as some understand slowness. Instead, he is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance. Did you catch it in there? Friends, God isn't wasting time. He's not twiddling his thumbs. What seems like slowness to us is actually God reaching out to more people. He still has children that he wants to save. I hear people talk about the second coming sometimes rather selfishly. "Lord, please come back to take us home. We're ready to be home." Well, we might be, but there are other people who aren't. Our posture while we wait should be one of anticipation, yes, but also one of patience. There are grandkids, spouses, co-workers, and parents that God is stalling for. Why would we want to rush that? So as we wait, we should have patience, but we should wait not just with patience, but also with purpose. Do you like to fly? I really like to fly. I especially enjoy being in airports. I enjoy walking around in them and seeing their unique architecture and watching the hustle of people arriving and leaving. I'm not a crazy person. I was reading this article in the New York Times about the airport in Houston that was having this ongoing customer relations issue. You see, there was a high number of passengers who were complaining about the wait times at baggage claim. They would get off of their flights, and they would have to wait 15 to 20 minutes for their bags to show up. It was infuriating. Well, the airport execs heard about this, and they doubled down on the issue. They increased the number of baggage workers, and they increased the efficiency of the system, and now wait times at baggage claim were only 8 minutes on average, which was well below the industry average. Well, the complaints kept coming. People were still annoyed. And the airport execs kind of scratched their heads at this. They couldn't figure it out. Well, they looked into the issue, and they discovered that on average, it only took passengers 1 minute to walk from their arrival gates to the baggage claim, but then another 7 minutes for their bags to show up. So do the math. 88% of their time was spent waiting. So do you know what they did? They moved arrival gates to be further away from the main terminal, and they rerouted bags to the outermost carousels. Passengers now had to walk 6 times longer to get to their bags. And you know what happened? Complaints dropped to almost 0. Isn't that stunning? Don't you feel like you've just been duped by the airport system? I know that I have walked a straight up mile to get to my bags before. In the article, they interview a guy named Richard Larson, who is the world's leading expert on waiting. That can't be a real title. He said the problem with waiting is not how long people have to wait. The problem comes when they don't have anything meaningful to do while they wait. In short, what you do while you're waiting makes all the difference. So let's tie this all back together now. When it comes to the second coming, don't just stand at the baggage carousel. Be on the move. Do something. Have purpose. Love people. Heal people. Cry with people. Mentor people. Share Jesus with them. Fight injustice. Visit the lonely. Build things for people who can't. Create things that are beautiful. God's kingdom is coming, and we want to give the world a taste of what that will be like. There's a book that pretty much everyone gets as a graduation present at some time in their life. It's by Dr. Seuss. It's called Oh, the Places You'll Go. You've probably read this book or you own it at home somewhere. The story follows a guy who leaves town to go on a journey. And along the way, he travels to many new places and he sees many remarkable things. At one point, he comes to a land that Seuss calls a most useless place. It's called the waiting place. Let me just read to you some of what he says. It's a place for people just waiting. Waiting for a train to go, or a bus to come, or a plane to go, or the mail to come, or the rain to go, or the phone to ring, or the snow to snow, or the waiting around for a yes or no, or waiting for their hair to grow. Everyone is just waiting. Friends, Jesus is coming, but don't get stuck in the waiting place. Have patience and have purpose. God is not slow with his promise. He knows what he's doing. Rather than a personal application question for today, I just have something that I want you to chew on, a little thought experiment, if you will. Does it make a difference if Jesus returns next week or 500 years from now? This is a question I've posed to Bible classes or youth groups just for discussion, but I'm curious your own thoughts. Adventism is a faith built on the soon return of Jesus. So does it matter if it's actually right around the corner or not? What difference would it make either way? There's no right answer here, just something for you to think about that ties in with what we're saying today. All right. Next week, we will be in a different book of the Bible. Don't forget, we have a live stream this Sabbath right here on this YouTube channel. Make sure you tune in at 11 for that. We will be continuing in our prologue series in the Gospel of John. We will be in the book of Ruth next Monday. I hope to see you then. Have a wonderful weekend.